The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
All right, welcome.
Doesn't matter how many times you watch that, you laugh all the time.
Good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to another edition of Table Topics. I'm here with Carlos, and it's another Tuesday or Wednesday, right?
Wednesday.
All right, it's another Wednesday. Another Wednesday we're here. And if you, and I'm losing my chain of thought today. You can always catch us on Wednesday for a new show. And I might have screwed up something there, but we can just go right into it.
That's okay. Yeah. One day you will get it right after 10 years.
I hope so.
No, it's Wednesday nights if you're watching us on Channel 95, and if you watching us on the channel and it's not a Wednesday, it's because you're watching a repeat show.
Okay. All right, I got to remember that next time.
I'm going to have the Steve Roll.
Yeah, I need to. You know, a lot of people need the thing running there. You know what I mean? A lot of people do, right?
Welcome live to TV.
Exactly.
So, but you can watch us too on our channel, Facebook channel, or YouTube channel. So we're back for another conversation between two friends that are both independent.
Yeah, a younger person. You got a younger person here, all of a sudden.
Me?
Yeah, we got a young look today, right?
Yes. I think that comes with the age, and right now it's like cannot hide it. I'm old.
Oh, well,
so,
hey.
But anyway, we are back for another show, and before we start our show, as we already had a couple of conversations about, and before we jump into our regular conversation, I have to say that we already have 15 people for our trip to
awesome.
Portugal next year.
Awesome.
For two facts. Fact number one, I think is the fact that we're going to the biggest feast that we have in the island and probably in the entire Portugal. Okay. I think the biggest feast, bigger than that, is Fatima in Lisbon. Oh, okay. But we probably are the second biggest feast in the entire country. Wow. In St. Michael. And we host immigrants from all over the world. Go over there. Yeah. That's why for the past month, probably, I was struggling to get a hotel that I could get everybody together on the same hotel. That's not going to happen. But I was lucky enough to find 15 rooms, 16 rooms, 8 and 8. We're going to be in side-by-side hotels, so which is a good thing. Yeah. And the second thing is that we will be right behind the festivities, which you can walk. It's like a minute from the hotel to the festivity. And we are now now opening to the people that have parents that want to visit Portugal, but you don't have either the time to take off to bring your parents there. I want to invite them to join our group. John already went there a couple of times with us and can testify that we are traveling together, and we become a family, and everybody takes care of each other. So with that being said, Santo Cristo feasts next May. If you want to join our group, I advise you to contact me or any other person on the board. May 10th to May 17th. And what I want to show you now is a little bit of the Santo Cristo, probably one of the moments more important during the feast is when the Santo Cristo leaves the church for the first time for the feast. And John, I don't know if you want to add anything before.
No, I mean, I was wondering, is this the church that's closer to the hotel? Like a
Yes.
Okay. Oh, that's
Yes,
interesting.
That's,
okay.
that's the church right
Okay.
there that you
Yes.
can see from your room.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, no, that's cool.
From
That's
your
cool.
room. So here it goes a little bit of the feast.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I was just asking a question if that was on wheels.
No,
no. They're carrying it. Okay.
They're carrying it.
Yeah.
So yes, it's definitely a big feast that people celebrate there, and it's done for over 100 years. I have to say, I have to Google and give you the right information. I don't want. I know it's done for many years. Doesn't matter if rains or not. They always do the feast, but came back after 2 years.
Okay.
Even COVID.
Took it down? Wow.
Yes.
Wow, that's interesting. And that was in May, right? That takes place
That's
in May.
next year. It's going to be May 13 and 14.
So what I did notice is a lot of people dressed in black, but they had look like decent-sized coats. Is it cool there in May?
No. The weather is good. It's good. So I think I don't know if it's part of the tradition too. You have to dress up to go for something like that.
Yeah, no, I just didn't know if people. Yeah, all right. So you're saying it's just dress up clothes more than for cold.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
I think just more for dress up.
Okay. All right. Cool.
So yes, that's going to be next year. Definitely, myself, I go there a lot, but I don't go to this feast for 36 years next year.
Oh, wow.
So it's going to be a big comeback for me too. I remember I went on that procession the year that I came to US.
Yep.
And what I was asking my entire procession, it's a 4-hour walk, that procession. What I was asking is for me to make it up here and make good for my family.
Yeah.
So, I am 35 years after.
So where does that procession walk from the church there to the
It
gate?
walks at the different streets on the city, but visits every convent, every single convent. The procession goes by. Goes by.
Okay. Yeah, because there's a church that we had went to when we were there, when I went back in 19 with you, that is across from the fort, and it's that big open area there. There's a church there. Mm-hmm. That's a different church. That's not the Santo Cristo church, right?
No.
Okay.
That's San Jose.
Okay, so that one's like the second
it's
stop.
It's
probably.
Yes, Santo Cristo is here, San Jose is over here.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean, I know.
And then you have the big green building. That's the old hospital.
Okay. All right. Yeah. That looks like they're renovating now.
Yes.
So
yeah.
cool.
I think they're renovating for kind of a nursing room kind of facility. So yes, that's the news that we have for this show, and the announcement. It's out there. If people have questions or anything, just please give me a call.
Okay.
John.
Sounds good.
One thing that we've been kind of been off, and the big elephant in the room, talking nationally, is definitely the visits of the house of the former president.
Oh, the White House.
The former
Mar-a-Lago.
Yes.
Okay. Yep.
For those famous boxes.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if they were filled with donuts, they would not be there, right?
I hope not, because they'd be bad, right?
Well, I don't know. Things could become confidential. You know, if it's a secret how to make donuts and the recipe it's inside the box, they.
It's true, right? It's true. I agree.
So, number one is. The problem is there, right? The fact that.
Yeah. I mean, I have a different. You know what, Carlos? This has been like all this stuff melds into a day. So I listen to it, and I'm kind of like
it's a different
thing, and it's like I get to the point where I don't care. But my opinion is on it that those documents, if they were taken, you know what I mean, and say you did take them, they've been gone for almost 2 years. They have the Secret Service in there all the time. So why is it like they make it seem like they're giving up all these assets overseas? Well, the documents have been there for 2 years. He didn't pack the boxes. Let's face it, right? So I mean, I don't understand the urgency now. And then they were there prior, and they said just put more locks on it. If it was that much of an emergency, why didn't they take those boxes out right then?
Well. What I think was, and this going on for the past 2 years. Yeah. They've been asking documents.
No, I don't think it's been
for him to give some stuff back, and he did give some stuff back.
It's the National Archives. The National Archives holds all government records. So if you work for the federal government, we send you a personnel record there. Any kind of records that the government takes, they put it in the National Archives out in St. Louis. It's this huge facility. So they're asking for this. So what scares me is that they're storing top secret information at the archives building in St. Louis. That kind of scares me. And they have this stuff written down. Why isn't it electronic? And if it's so severe, these documents, why didn't anybody, like when you're leaving, when the president's leaving, right? Why aren't they like, what are you taking with you? All right, we need to look through that. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, what I think was they kind of leave on the president's trust that you are, because the information, we keep a lot of information here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Information is just a piece of
it's
paper.
Information. Yeah,
you can decorate a whole book.
Yeah.
Okay, and know everything. So, why I think now?
Yeah. It's because he's going to run for president.
No.
Yeah.
I
think he's going to run for president.
I think the reason now that he went back to this is because somebody pushed the carpet on him. Somebody told
but Carlos,
the feds that
Carlos,
he still have documents that need to be out of there.
Carlos, that was the whole 4 years of the presidency. There were constant leaks that he did this, that, or the other thing, right? So I'm going to just change this a little bit, all right? So do you remember before the election we had, there was this computer from hell. Some people, the computer from hell or the hard drive from hell. And there was the guy that runs Facebook was on a podcast, Joe Rogan podcast, that has 12 million people. The guy that runs that, I can't remember what his name is now, he said the FBI came to them and said there's going to be Russian disinformation out there. Watch it, right? So Twitter didn't let anybody, the New York Post, which is a paper that's been around for 100 years, would not let you share that. They took it off. Facebook said, well, we just didn't let it share as much. But we find out now that it wasn't disinformation. Even all these intelligence people said it was disinformation. We find out the New York Times, which is not a conservative paper, it's a liberal paper, said, yes, it is true. There was a laptop with all these things out there. So I have a problem trusting different things when then you come back, because there's a memo out there that I see, today's conspiracy, 6 months later will be today's truth. So here we hear, now is that not getting involved in the election? Is that not election interference? That's election interference, that you stomped on a story. So I don't believe, personally, I don't believe anything anymore. I don't believe whether, you know what I mean, do I believe, and I think I told you this during our last show, that Trump had the information. He probably put the passports in there. I think he probably did. I'm not going to deny it. I don't care either way, but it's like to stir all this up because everybody just keeps on ratcheting all this stuff up to the highest level, So I would say you're right. However, we had somebody that ran with Trump at the time and had a server in their basement, had somebody from the agency set up that server. We know, this is truth, that other countries went into that server and pulled information out. So if we're going to have it, we can't have a two-tier justice system in this country because eventually it comes down to everybody else. So if you like someone and you're okay with that party, it's like your local politics, right? If you don't like the mayor and you come through, you shouldn't be blackballed. I know that happens at times, I get it, but at the national level, you can't destroy people because you don't like what they did. Where the people hate, you got to take the person out of it, take Trump out of it and put any other person in there. And the stuff that's happening is unprecedented, and it's not fair. You got to have equal justice. And right now in this country, we don't have equal justice.
Well, but the problem I see is, until now, we never had to go into a former president and pick up stuff.
Exactly. Why didn't we do that with the person that was running? Why didn't we do that with the person that was running that had a server in their basement? That person was the Secretary of State. Why did we not go in there? You knew that. There's evidence that there was information on there that China stole. Why didn't we do anything?
Yeah, but we're not talking about...
I don't care, Carlos.
I understand.
It's a fairness issue.
I understand.
You've got to do one for one.
We're not going to just, go after the cook because, it was the cook. We're talking about president.
Okay.
And,
but
presidents,
Secretary of State's pretty high up there.
Michelle Obama took a picture.
Yeah.
And she almost got crucified because she took a picture from the office that, she was not supposed to take it out of there. It was supposed to stay on the White House. Everybody wanted to crucify her because of that.
But if it's not there, you know what I mean? It's got to go both ways, Carlos. So if she's not supposed to take stuff out just because it's her picture, she can't take it out.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean? That's the rule.
And I'm not saying that she was right taking it.
Yeah.
But that came out. So, and it was a big deal because of a picture. So why not? It's a big deal now because of, and I don't think I don't think they're more concerned about, passwords to nuclear,
but they're saying
arms
that.
and everything.
But they're saying that.
I think
they're saying
the bigger concern they have, I think the biggest concern they have is the protection of the people that we are protecting. And they're going to have now to leave the places they are hiding to hide it somewhere else.
Yeah.
So this is stuff, to tell you the truth, I understand that the president has to know everything, has to put the fingerprint of everything, but some things should stay where they are because that people only sits there in power for 4 years. And after 4 years, they bring all that stuff with them. When you have somebody that you are protecting for 30 years, okay, should be just a certain group of people that are working with that. Nobody else should know, even the president. He should not know.
Who should know? Who should
The
know?
the person that's in charge of protecting that people, or the group, or whatever, the association, or whatever they create, the alliances that they create, that they have the information of that individual and the location of that individual, I don't think should be released to the man that's going to sit there for 4 years, and then he could just sell out the information. I don't agree with that.
Well, I mean, then if you use that premise, then you got to have a problem with that. They were probably in that server. There were probably issues. There were probably assets. All this. She was a Secretary of State. So that's what I'm getting at. So let me give you an example, right? Say I'm your manager, right? And you file a complaint because you said you're not being reasonable with me like you are with other employees, okay? So you come in late all the time, right? And I don't come in late. I come in late as well, but I'm not a pain in the butt. The manager says, no, Carlos comes in late. You know what my thing is going to be? Carlos comes in late. Does John come in late? Yes, John comes in late. Then you better put them both on notice and say, this is what you need to do. So you got to be consistent and fair, because when you're not consistent and fair, then it seems like you're doing something personal to that person. And I don't trust you. You lose all confidence in what I'm saying from you. And that's during court of law. What do we see all the time? We see if you don't do something consistently, people aren't going to believe it. Or you're going to say you're being prejudiced toward me or biased toward me. So that's the biggest issue I have. If he had the documents and he wasn't supposed to have them, then he needs to, whatever comes to him, comes to him. But my problem is that all of a sudden, they're doing this, but all these other people did all these other things and they didn't do anything. It's not reasonable. You have to look at things reasonably, and they're not doing that. So we had someone that was part of that holding down the Biden story, right? He was just walked out of the FBI the other day. Is it because all this is coming into play? So I'll be perfectly honest with you. I don't believe anything at all on TV. I don't believe anything. It was the old saying, I don't know if they said this in Portugal, but your parents would say, believe none of what you hear and half of what you see. Now I don't even believe any of what I see sometimes, because it's like they can move cameras and do all these different things.
So what's going to come out of this?
What's going to come out of this is I would finally like to see that we are not being run as a third world country. So when people go and go into a former president or prime minister's house, that's what they do in third world countries. Coups. When they go in and they take that president out, you either go out of here and then you go to another country, or they kill you. That's almost what it's doing, where you're going after another person. And this person's saying they might run for president. I don't think the person's going to, but are you that afraid of it? You need to be looking at what's important in this country. Inflation. People can't afford housing here. We're finding in Europe, I'm seeing things in Europe that we don't see here, that the people in like Poland and Germany, they're afraid that they're not going to have enough gas, heating oil for the wintertime. This is what we need to look at, and they're not. I mean, it's amazing too that we're continuously giving money to the Ukraine. I don't see anything on the news anymore, do you? I don't see anything. Where's that money going? They're not tracking that money. Is that money being funneled out? And there have been stories on the news where I've seen Ukrainian people have been caught in Poland or Romania with like millions of dollars of American money in suitcases. This has been in the media. I mean, we're not going to see it on CNN, Fox, and that, but if you read European papers, you're seeing this information there. So we're giving all this money out. Where is it going? Where is it going? We know Ukraine is a very corrupt country, right? We know it's a very corrupt country.
Well, somebody's gotten rich there.
Yeah. There's been many people that have got rich. We have politicians that have had their children, and I'm not talking about the president, I'm talking about other people that have had their children on these boards making $500,000 a year or $1 million a year with no experience, but their mom or dad happens to be a big politician.
That case, it's all over. Every time that you see a fundraiser or a company fundraising for something, or to buy food for Africa, or to help a dog that lives on the streets, you go to you Google those companies. I mean, the employees make $100,000 a year.
Yeah. Well, the nonprofits, they are paid. I mean, the nonprofits, even in this city, I'm sure there are some people that are making well over 100,000, if not more than that. So,
but here's my thing.
Yep.
Since I remember over here, I always said that Americans are too proud to put a president in jail. They will defend the president.
I don't think that's so.
For, into the last drop.
Yeah.
Today, I don't think I can repeat that, because
You think that people would want to put the former president in jail? Is that what you're saying?
That's what they're trying.
Yeah. Well, no, I know they're trying.
That's what
they've been trying. The person got impeached twice for I don't know what. We have a border right now that people are just coming into, that children are being trafficked. You know what I mean? Where is all the outrage of these children that are being sex trafficked, or they're taking their organs out and they're selling them to people overseas? Where's the outrage with that? Instead, we hear there's nothing happening, but New York and Washington, they got 2,000 or 3,000 people. I'm like, we can't handle this. Well, the cities and towns in Texas and Arizona and New Mexico are getting infiltrated every day. Can you imagine 3,000 or 4,000 people just walking into this city every day? We need them. We need to give them housing. Can you imagine that? That's not fair. That's not fair to the people that live there. That's not fair to the people that like us that live up here. We're kind of immune because it's so high to live up here. But those other places, that's not fair that people are just coming in. People are walking through people's farms. They're afraid at night to go out because a lot of times these people are armed. And I'm talking about people bringing these folks over. It's not fair. It just is not fair. No other country would put up with this, but Europe. Europe and us, we put up with this. No other country would they put up with that.
Well, after the second impeachment,
yes,
I had the feeling that we are definitely going through different times, and at this point, I think anything can happen.
Anything can happen. If it does, it's going to be unprecedented.
Like everything else.
Like everything else. I mean,
like everything else we watch.
But it's I mean, Carlos, look what's happened. And I know we only got another hour left. Look what's happened.
I mean,
another minute left. Look what's happened in this country in the last 2 years. Look what's happened. People were forced to take a vaccine they may or may not have wanted. Okay, they were forced to stay home, not to work. All this money was given out. We given $10,000 to $20,000 out for student loans. Look what's happened. You've given up something for this. You know the old thing, there's no such thing as a free lunch? We've given a lot up over the last couple of years. And this has been overdrive. To me, a fascist is someone that comes in and say, you have to do that. That's fascism. That's not what, under Trump, he didn't say you have to do this. We had administration that said, you have to do this or you don't work. That's fascism.
Well, in our next show, we're going to see definitely if the house going to change. That's the
That'll
the
be
next
interesting.
news. Until then,
Nothing's going to change. And have a
See you
good night,
next
but
week.
nothing's going to change, Carlos, no matter what happens.